There's a quiet revolution happening right now, and it's not in some massive, faraway data center, but it's happening right under our noses, or maybe more accurately, inside our tiniest gadgets. It's called TinyML, and it's basically about to give the physical world a digital brain. Just stop and think about this for a second. What if your coffee maker, or your thermostat, or your watch, what if they didn't just follow simple commands, but they actually understood what was happening around them? What if your appliances could actually anticipate what you need? Well, that's not science fiction anymore. That is exactly the world that TinyML is building as we speak.
So, to really get how this is even possible, we first need to break down what TinyML actually is. What does it even mean to put a brain onto a tiny microchip?
At its core, the idea is actually pretty simple. It's all about taking the enormous power of artificial intelligence, the kind that usually lives in the cloud, and shrinking it down so it can run on these tiny, power-sipping computer chips called microcontrollers. We're literally putting an intelligent brain on a chip.
And this is where TinyML just completely flips the script on how we think about AI. See, we're all used to our devices sending our data on a long journey to a distant cloud server to get processed. TinyML does all of that thinking right there on the device itself. And the result? Well, it's way faster, it's way more private, and it uses a tiny, tiny fraction of the power. Okay, but that brings up a really good question. If we already have all this powerful AI in the cloud, why bother going through all the trouble of shrinking it down? Well, the answer is that the benefits are an absolute game changer. Just think about what this really enables. Because the power draw is so incredibly low, devices can be always on, constantly sensing and listening to the world without completely draining their battery. This is going to unlock a whole new generation of smart battery-powered gadgets. Plus, and this is huge, since the data never leaves the device, it's totally private by design. It's affordable to put into millions of things, and with no trip to the cloud, the response is instantaneous.
And look, if you need just one number to really wrap your head around the scale of this, it's this one. We're not talking about a small improvement here. A tiny ML device can do its job using 99% less energy than it would need to talk to the cloud. I mean, that's the difference between a battery lasting for a few days and a battery lasting for years.
And this brings us to one of the most important benefits of all, privacy. Think about your smart speaker for a second. Instead of it constantly streaming everything you say to a server just to listen for a wake word like, "Hey Google," a tiny ML model can do that entire job locally. The analysis happens and stays right there in your living room. Your data never leaves the device. Period.
So how is any of this even possible? How in the world do you take a massive AI and cram it onto a chip that's smaller than your fingernail? Well, the process is actually surprisingly elegant. Let's break it down.
It all really happens in three main steps. First, developers do what they've always done. They train a big, powerful AI model up in the cloud. But then comes the magic. They use these really clever techniques to compress it. A good way to think about it is like turning a super high-resolution photo into a much smaller JPG file. You lose a little bit of imperceptible detail, but the core image, the thing you actually care about, is still there. This process shrinks the model down while keeping all its essential intelligence. And finally, that new, lean, efficient model gets deployed right onto the microchip.
All right, that's enough of the theory. Let's get to the fun part. Let's look at where this technology is already popping up in the real world. And the answer might actually surprise you, because it's pretty much everywhere.
Your smartwatch is the perfect example. You know that ability it has to recognize a wake word or a really simple command without even being connected to your phone? Yep, that's TinyML at work, always listening, but using almost no power to do it.
Now, in the industrial world, this is a massive, massive deal. Imagine a tiny, inexpensive sensor on a factory machine that just listens to its vibrations. The TinyML model on that chip can learn the machine's normal, healthy sound. And the second it detects some subtle change that signals a future breakdown, it can alert a technician. This can save millions in repairs and downtime. It's incredible.
And it's not just for our gadgets and factories. Conservationists are using TinyML in remote cameras out in the wild. The device can actually identify an animal in the frame and choose to only record when it spots a rare species. This allows a tiny battery to last for months or even years out in the middle of a forest.
So when you start to pull all of this together, you can really see the bigger picture taking shape. This isn't just about a few clever devices here and there, it's about a fundamental shift in how we're going to interact with the entire physical world.
I love this quote because it just captures the scale of this idea so perfectly. We are, essentially, embedding a digital nervous system, the ability to sense, to process, and to act
into the very fabric of the world around us. We're giving inanimate objects reflexes.
And here's the kicker, the truly mind-blowing part. This isn't some future technology that we have to build from the ground up. There are already billions and billions of these microcontrollers out there in the world right now. In our cars, our homes, our offices. They're basically just tiny little bodies waiting for a brain.
And that leaves us with this one final massive question. For decades, we have been blanketing our entire world with sensors that do one thing: collect data. And now we're giving those sensors the ability